Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good night, whatever, good evening, whatever time it is you're watching this. You are inside the Human Performance Project, which is comprised of some of the thoughts of myself, Adam Benjamin Coleman. So, welcome back to the HPP with your boy ABC. And today I want to talk about something that I've noticed has been kind of a new Achilles heel or a new defect that's kind of crept up in my life, or that allows other defects to take hold and to be more powerful than they need to be, and that is my cell phone. I'm using it right now to record this video for you guys, which it would be awesome if you could like and subscribe to my channel. If you don't mind, it would be great. I'd like to get better at bringing content that you enjoy, so your comments and constructive criticisms are always welcome. But the relationship with your cell phone is something that I am sure we have all noticed in someone in our immediate circle, or just in people in the world today. And it's something that we're gonna have to live with. It's not something that we can just totally go without. I'm a person that I kind of miss being able to be someplace and not have people know where you are. And not for any insidious reasons. Like sometimes you just don't want to talk to anyone for a minute, and we should be allowed to take that break if we want to. Not run away from people and isolate, you understand, but if you're overwhelmed or you just need to think about something for a minute, man, like, it's very difficult to do that in a totally quiet, serene place anymore, or to give it your full attention without there being some alarm going off or a notification popping up or someone asking for something from you via text message or phone call. It's crazy how just sensory raped we get with stimuli every day, and it's just billboards and ads and banners and TV commercials and Spotify ads and YouTube ads. And I understand that those things need to exist for some reasons to get the bigger wheels of the cog going, but I don't know, we focused so much for so long on ads like tobacco and alcohol and making those illegal, and at the same time we started promoting online gambling to our children and making it so that we just are 24 hours a day accessible to anyone that really wants to find us, or I guess rather to anyone we allow to find us. And that creates a lot of unbalance in people's lives, and when you feel like you're not in control of your own life, you're gonna have some anxiety crop up. And when you have some anxiety crop up, you're gonna either develop a coping mechanism or reach for some kind of external band-aid, basically, to make those uncomfortable feelings go away, because more than likely we haven't done enough self-evaluation and honest appraisal of our abilities to communicate with the world and to deal with the situations that an adult in this world should be equipped to deal with. We just depend on instant gratification and getting something now for every area of our life anymore. And if you don't want to do it, there's somebody that you can pay to do it for you, and you can dial them from your phone. And we've gotten to this place where no one really takes any accountability for their decisions that they make, because the decisions that they make are all carried out by another entity. It's not even them doing it. So I can see how they justify it, it's like sending a shitty telegram to somebody and then the person getting mad at you and being like, I didn't say it. No, you didn't say it. You just hired the person to go and sing it to the individual at the door, Intentions and thoughts matter, and you can't just wish for something and call it dedication, and you can't just oh well something and pretend it never happened either. You know, you can't ignore the effects of our decisions, and there's a ripple effect of every decision we make. There always is, whether we are able to see it or not. But the cell phone, you know, we live in a world where addiction is becoming more and more rampant, not just because of things like fentanyl, but because of things like cell phones. I'm sure that there are people that are aware of this, but there's a large number of people that are not, and subconsciously don't understand why they find themselves needing to scroll mindlessly for hours or online shop on their phone and just look at stuff, you know, compulsively, without even really any intention to buy and any real need that has arisen. It's just something that we get programmed with from all that external, you know, stimuli that we don't really ask for necessarily. That just tells us buy, you need, but be afraid at the same time. They're conditioning us to just basically hoard a lot of miscellaneous worldly crap and focus entirely on resource guarding, basically. I love dogs. I'm learning more about training dogs, and I've trained my own. Resource guarding is something that crops up sometimes without you even meaning to have anything like that happening at all. And the way that we're conditioned right now is really no different than spoiled dogs. Okay, you give dogs everything they want and you give them no structure or discipline, things are going to crop up like aggression between a multiple dog household, resource guarding, you know, territorial marking, behaviors that you don't like as an owner, we'll say. Okay, and that happens because you're treating your dog like a person probably, and you're not giving it any stimulation or any boundaries and discipline. And I don't mean discipline like beating the shit out of it with a newspaper. I mean discipline like when you tell it not to do something or you want to teach a behavior, you have to then redirect and show what behavior it is that you do want. You don't just scold the dog and say, no, damn it, and smack him and then stop there. Okay, you make a noise that lets them know that you're not enthused with what they're doing. You get their attention, and then you redirect, like, why don't we chew on this instead? They do that for a little while, you reward that behavior, and eventually it sticks. Okay, the same thing has happened to humans, basically. Stay inside. Don't go outside, it's too dangerous. Here's some treats, here's some stipends, and some different resources that we're just gonna give you because you have to stay inside. But be a good boy and girl and stay inside, stay in your kennel. Am I wrong? That sounds an awful lot like just kind of pacifying your dog, you know? Like, I don't want to hear or see from you right now, so go to your cage and here's a treat, so shut the up. There are a lot of people in the world that need to shut up, but there's a lot of people in the world that need to speak up. And the ones that don't have anything to say are the ones that are talking the loudest right now, and the ones that are living with integrity and trying to actually better themselves and get back to a way of living where we appreciate one another and live as a community and not a bunch of selfish individuals. Those people are not being heard right now, and when they try to step up, they're being shushed. And you know, I don't have a whole lot of political insight or worldly views that I think are valuable for people to hear and understand. But I do think that we need to very closely look at the perspective with which we live our lives and address the world that we live in, because I think you may find that it has slipped to a point where you've lost optimism and joy and hope and love and wonder and curiosity and things that used to excite you as a younger version of you to get up in the next morning or to continue to learn and do things. And when that goes away, we're going to slowly die and deteriorate, and we're seeing it happen, but it's not too late. It's just something we have to look at. And things like the cell phone relationship are a prime example of that. Your brain is producing dopamine from scrolling through the phone mindlessly and just pacifying the anxiety with the coping mechanism of your little comfort device in the phone in your hand. We haven't even talked about the harm that phone is doing to our ecosystem, our environment, and our bodies, potentially too. It's everything in this world operates off energy. Our hearts have an electromagnetic field that they produce when they're beating properly. And I know that each person that's watching this has probably had an experience where they have been around someone that had a great or a horrible energy, and you were very, very tangibly able to feel that. You might as well have just been able to reach out and touch it. It was so thick. And that's real, and that never lies. That aura, that energy, we each have one of those, but we go into a place of staring mindlessly and not connecting with what we're actually doing and what we're actually putting out. And we go into this cruise control mode where we get 2/3 of the way through our day and we stop and we're like, how did I get here? I don't even remember driving to work. Like, what the fuck? What is going on? And we're not present. We're just squirrel cage a million different places, worried about all these different things that we're told to worry about and that we let get into our head that we really can't do anything about anyways, but we let them just totally overwhelm us and change the course of our day and how quality it is for us. She's gonna bring me every toy till I play with her. Yeah, I see you, Mama. This is Pepper. So again, the cell phones, I'm not naive. I'm not going to say I'm never going to use it again and no one ever should, because they're not necessary. They are necessary and they're very helpful. They've caused a lot of things to progress, and they do give you information when you look in the right places for it. They allow people to stay in communication that otherwise wouldn't be able to as consistently. They allow you to see loved ones across the country. They do a lot of good things, but we need to use them for those good things. Scroll through your phone when you're looking for an answer to a really good question, not when you're looking for a new pair of shoes and you already have 37 other pairs in your closet. Just change the association you have with the phone, because I guarantee you have a stronger association than you've even really paid attention to yet. And so I would imagine that if you find yourself being one of these chronic scrollers that just finds themselves wasting hours out of your day involuntarily, by no fault of your own, you just kind of get lost in your phone. Next thing you know, you look up and hours have gone by. And it's kind of alarming. It's like, holy crap, dude, where does the time go? And we don't ever get that time back. And so use that time to learn. There's a lot of good information on the internet. It's not just garbage and human trafficking and drugs and all the stuff that we are told about every day on the news, but we're never told about people who make a connection and love each other for 50 years until the day that they die together. We're never told about the person who devotes their time to work with developmentally disabled adults, 6 days a week and does most of it on a volunteer basis. We're not made aware of these miracles that happen every day. And I call them miracles because I think I figured out that there's miracles all over the place. You might just have to lower your expectation of what you think a miracle looks like. Because, I don't know, the fact that I'm even sitting here making this video is a miracle. This dog playing with me is a miracle. There's a lot of grace that we are given every day that we don't really consider. And the cell phone, again, is a part of that. We just get kind of electronically desensitized to the things that used to matter to us or that we used to hold important in life. And when we lose sight of those things, life starts to lose meaning, and it starts to lose value and excitement and purpose. And when those things go away, shit gets scary, because then you're just kind of bouncing from place to place and doing whatever sounds good at the moment and living impulse to impulse and maybe justifying it by saying, whatever, man, you only live once, I'm just gonna be free. Well, you're free to make whatever choices you want, but usually people who make a great effort to not be connected to anything are afraid of something. And I just really think it's time that we start scrolling through our inner monologue and our daily actions more than our cell phones. And I think that if we do that, we're going to find that things are going to be a little bit different. You know, not to keep going back to dogs, but they're awesome and we can learn a lot from them. You know, when you let dogs go outside, they sniff things. They have a sniff vest, right? They check their pee mail. They're sniffing every bush, every leaf, every blade of grass. And that's how, in large part, they learn about their environment. You know, they can tell from smells what other dogs are in the area, if they're sick, if they're, you know, dogs that they're probably going to get along with. Like, they can gain an amazing amount of information from becoming comfortable with their environment and interacting with their environment. Now, if you have a dog that is kept from all of those sensory experiences and very rarely gets to go outside or to a dog park or to socialize or to just be a dog, roll around in the grass and dig in the dirt and just, you know, do what it wants to do for a minute. You get these dogs that are anxious and confused and shaking and nipping at people and developing really neurotic behaviors because they don't know what the fuck you want them to do. They're dogs, and you're trying to tell them that every dog thing they want to do is bad. So they get very tense, you know, and they will act out. They get frustrated and they don't know how to tell us that. So, well, they know how to tell us that. We don't know how to listen to them most of the time and read what they're telling us to change our behavior, because dogs only do what we teach them to do. Okay, so if your dog is misbehaving, it's because you guys are not vibing. There's something that one of you needs to communicate to the other one that's not getting across just yet. And that's okay. That doesn't make you a bad dog owner. It doesn't make you a bad person. It doesn't. A lot of times people say, oh, you can always tell if you're a good person. Dogs, babies, they'll like you. And that's true in large part because they see energy. But there are a lot of dogs that just go up to anyone. You know, it could be a serial killer and they'd still go up to him and greet him and jump on him. So, you know, do stay grounded and think about what you're projecting in the world, because like I said in the beginning of this video, we all know what it feels like to be around somebody who is an energy fountain that's just giving good positive vibes, and what it's like to be around somebody that's just an energy vampire and just drains the life out of you. And you could spend 2 hours with the person, and when you're done, you're just like, Jesus Christ, I'm exhausted. I haven't done anything. And that's so difficult because that person doesn't do that on purpose. You know, it's just, that's how they get down. They're focused on their problems and themselves and their microcosm of their world, because that's what they have been taught to do and shown to do, and what at some point worked for them. So my point in saying that is, learning to do different things with your cell phone is not always going to be easy. Learning to do different behaviors, period, is very rarely easy. But the things that are worth it in life are also very rarely easy to obtain. So if you don't do something different, you'll never get anything different. And it boils down to is the pain that you're causing yourself from the dysfunction greater than the uncomfortability that's going to arise from forcing the change. In other words, when you get so damn tired of feeling a certain way because of a behavior that you know you're doing, you'll eventually do something different, right? And I hope that something different is very apparent and positive to you. There's a lot of things in the world to get involved in, and there's a lot of things to be excited about and to have as a hobby. You know, we'll talk more about my motorcycle, Loki, but that's a large part of what gets my time now, besides my dogs, Pepper, Harley. They teach me a lot, and I've been learning a lot, and my point of these videos is to share some of that with you, because I know that we're all just people, and there's nothing that I'm going to struggle with or you're going to struggle with that someone else doesn't understand already from their own personal experience. So the sooner we can get back to sharing those experiences with one another and learning from one another and appreciating one another for the life that we've already been through and continue to show up to every day, the better things are going to be for all of us. All of us. And it is contagious. It will affect the person next to you and the person next to them. And nobody ever was like harmed or worse off after being around a chipper individual than they were before being around them. You know what I mean? Like, no one was ever like, well, I was fine until I was around that really upbeat, positive individual, and then I just wanted to, you know, go kick babies and find razor blades. Like, you don't lose anything from being positive, but you lose a lot from being negative. Energy, respect and admiration of your peers, invitations to social events, just joy in life, and eventually years on your life. Because when you're pissed off and just shitty all the time chronically, your health is going to follow suit. It really will. And even though we're all going to have bad days, not every day is going to be sunshine and Skittles, I know that, but remembering that really feelings are never permanent and they're never completely sustainable, so we have to appreciate them all and just learn to operate collectively in the middle as productively as we can, you know? And I think, again, the sooner we all put out a hand, the sooner we can keep each other up out of the big negatives and down from the big upswing positives and just stay more in that middle. So that's my hope for today, is that I can stay more in the middle, stay present, stay balanced, and be aware of somebody else and what they might be going through before I think about myself and what I need. Thank you for listening. Again, please like and subscribe. Comments, questions, concerns, always welcomed, either on this or on social media outlets like Facebook or Instagram. Be good humans. Do something that excites you today, and go out of your way to make somebody's day just a little bit better.